Hi everyone, yet again for another Trekyards Live. For this episode, we talked to Jacqueline and Kim from Star Trek Generations. This was obviously at the London Film and Comic Convention, and while she couldn't actually get away from the signing table, she was kind enough to let us go and set up the camera at her table and film it there, and luckily there was enough space for that. And just so you guys know, this is a fun one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this one because we've never actually talked to the pilot of an Enterprise before, so let's see how it goes.
Yeah, it was fun to meet her and a rather interesting perspective. So without further ado, let's start the interview.
So, hi there.
Hi.
Now, hopefully the audience will remember you. I think you've got a distinctive face, but can you tell us, who are you in the Trek mythos?
I am the daughter of Hikaru Sulu. I am Demora Sulu.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. So what was the first thing George Takei said to you when you became captain? No, I didn't.
George Takei wasn't a part of shooting this.
Okay.
But we met at a convention later.
What did he say as you being his daughter?
Well, you know what? This is an interesting fact. When I was filming the feature, he actually asked Chekhov to come up to me and ask me if I was Japanese or not. Yeah, not very diplomatic when you are not Japanese.
So, you said you're Demora Sulu, but you're actually the pilot of the Enterprise B.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh?
How do you feel? Now, that's the second Enterprise to bear the name, as it were, the B.
Well, I'm pretty good at driving. And I'm a musician, so I really enjoyed all of the keyboard stuff.
Yeah, they actually played on that actually in the movie. They actually showed your tapping.
My hands. I'm very detail oriented, so.
Yeah, we have Doug Drexler as a guest on our show, and he said that you and Alan Ruck actually talked to him about how do we tell us that story.
I think we just wanted to know what the precedent was, so that we were like really carrying on the tradition of this imaginary running of the ship.
So the ship we actually have,
Yes.
the Enterprise B.
Yes.
First impressions.
Edvard Munch, The Scream. Edvard Munch, The Scream. It also makes me think of an architectural tool, like a protractor. But it's really interesting that it's round, and this is the hull, right?
It's like the primary hull, yeah.
This is where Kirk died, somewhere here. These are kind of superfluous, aren't they? Are these sort of...
Oh, those are the engines.
The engines are these long things? Really? I don't buy that.
What don't you buy? Well, why not?
How can an engine of something this big and of this weight be this long and cylindrical? I don't buy it. This almost looks like it's an exhaust system.
I could go into the science, but we haven't got time.
And you notice with the original...
Yep, we have the original Excelsior class.
Original and B. Original and B. The original has eyes. Do you see these? What is it? The eyes, the black eyes.
Yeah, they were added by one of the other designers. So John Eaves, who's the guy that designed it, one of the other parts of the team said, we want those two things there. He thought it looked good.
So that makes you think more of like Star Wars and the paratroopers or the stormtroopers, for me. But okay, the last thing I'll say about the ship is it feels sort of insect-like.
Really?
Like a praying mantis. Yeah.
So
it's very anthropomorphizable.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, the Excelsior is kind of a unique design because the nacelles are so much longer than most other ships. That is an unusual design choice. The nacelles, the engines, those are extra long. Most ships in Starfleet have a much shorter nacelles. That is actually, you say they're very long. That isn't it.
It doesn't look that much longer.
Oh no, I mean they're both the same ship. It's the same class. That's just a refit. So, I mean, these two ships have some of the longest nacelles in all Starfleet.
It's very top heavy. Good thing they're in space. If it wasn't in space, it'd be like tong.
So, which do you prefer, though, the original or your own home ship, as it were?
The original.
Why?
It's sleeker and lighter. And then I asked you, does it move this way?
It does.
And you said it's your own ship.
Yeah, you're the pilot. You
You
should.
should like slapped me. You're like, it's your ship.
It is your ship.
Yeah, you're a filmmaker. You're supposed to like coddle the person into talking and sharing.
Sorry. The ship flies forwards like a dove through air.
Think about this. I was thinking about this today. Just because I knew you were going to show me the ship. They're never on ground.
No, they're not. No, they're really not. That's part. They're not meant to land.
No. But the people, they're never on ground. They're always on air.
Well, lack of airspace.
Yeah, lack of air, but still, like, they're always floating. So that's got to affect their brains, everything.
So you're saying you're a crazy pilot of the Enterprise B.
I'm saying they're never grounded.
How do you keep sane when you're just looking at bulkheads all for years and years? How do would we want to be in a submarine and never see the sky?
Yeah. It's sort of like what we are like with our computers now, right? How do you know a human being anymore? All you have to do is press your button.
That's pretty deep. I like that. But back to the set for a second. So you said the first time you saw it was the premiere.
I have an architecture background, and I'm a fine artist, so I design objects. So you would think that I would really care about what the ship looked like, but I didn't know that the ship would be that different. And if you look at it sort of, the differences aren't that. Oh, actually, there's quite a big difference in this hull.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's almost got a second level.
Yeah. It was based off a speedboat.
That's less interesting. So it's a disc, sort of like a head with a brain, and it's got a boat. It's sort of an upside down. I grew up in Detroit, and on the lakes we would water ski riding in the back of speedboats. It sort of looks like that. I think round architecture is always beautiful.
Okay.
Because I don't think anything in nature really has hard edges. That's completely man-made. Same that I don't think that things are terribly symmetrical in nature. I mean, there's the Fibonacci. What is that? The Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah.
So things do move in terms numerically symmetrically, but I think the whole idea of symmetry is it's man-made.
That's very interesting. But that's a bit too deep for a show about ships.
Oh, so it's not going to end up.
Oh no, absolutely. But I want
I'm
to talk
actually a thoughtful person.
Oh, I can tell. You're a pilot and a poet.
A pilot and a poet.
But I want to talk about. So you pretty much only saw one set for the B. The bridge.
Yeah.
What was it like working on your first Star Trek set and the set in general? What was your take on the four walls, but the feel of it?
It was hot.
So was this?
There's tons of hotter than this. There are lots of lights. I found it like overstimulating. There was just a lot of lights and a lot of people and lots to do. So I had to try really hard to focus. So you see some of the photographs from me in the show, and I look kind of like angry. It's really me trying to focus.
Closing thought. Favorite little. So if you had to enjoy this model, if you had to like it, what was your favorite?
You're like OCD. You're like
It's a ship.
detail.
What was your favorite little detail about this ship, the design-wise? Would you say?
I do really like that it's like a protractor. So I like the disc. I like the detail on the back of the disc.
Okay.
Feels very mathematical, or
Yeah.
like something an engineer or what is it, astronomer would use? No.
I don't know. It's too hot. And on that note, thank you very much for joining us, and hope you have a great rest of the con.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool to see her perspective of things, because she's obviously not a huge Star Trek fan, and she doesn't even know that those were the engines or that the ship even flew in that direction.
It's
even though
incredible.
She piloted it. So it is neat that, we here at Trekyards, that's kind of our niche thing, is ships. So the questions we ask actors, they necessarily have never been asked before. So it was very cool to see her kind of interpretation on things. And you never really think about it from a non-fan's point of view, but to hear that was very interesting. And I love the fact that she's a musician, so she had the whole finger thing on the console, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I think you guys could tell that was a fun interview. We had a lot of laughs, and just like you say, that other perspective. I think Starfleet Academy might be not doing as good a job as they could have, because she didn't know how she was piloting. But again, maybe it's just autopilot. Maybe those pilots just to check the gas meter. That's all they do. I don't know. But it was a lot of fun. And the great thing about these interviews, guys, is that these actors don't know a lot about the ships. And as you saw in the interview, the first time she saw it was at the premiere. That's after 2 years of production. But we actually have the ships, the models, to be able to show them, and again, get their perspective. And it was great that we had the Excelsior as well, so she really got a sense of what it was, and I like how she picked the Excelsior over the Enterprise B. Oh dear. And again, saying, oh, we know John Eves and these bits of the design. I mean, it really made it a fun interview, and she's a design person, so all these very different perspectives was a lot of fun, even if it was a bit of an odd interview, but a great interview and a lot of fun.
Yeah, and the way she looked at the design aspect of it was very interesting, like you said. I love how after you said, oh, it's designed like after a speedboat. Oh, that makes it less interesting. So I got a few laughs during that interview. I really enjoyed it. And good job, Samuel, once again.
And I thank you. And I think it shows that, she was on screen for a couple of minutes in a prequel sort of scene in Generations. And yet you can still get some amazing, thought-provoking stuff. These people are people, and that's why we're trying to get these Trekyards live. What does Jacqueline Kim think? What does Tim Russ think? What do they think about these designs? And it was really great to see the perspective. So, yeah, that's it for another one. Look forward to next time. Don't know what we're going to have, but we know. You don't know. But until next time, guys. See ya.
Bye.